Well, guys, we will go ahead and get started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Yosh Wagner. I'm the Director of Trio-SSS Support Services. I am a Trio alumni as well, so I'm a first-gen low-income college student when I came to Cochise College and then transferred here. So definitely took advantage of Trio and all of the advantages and opportunities that they have for you. And so what we want to do, especially since you guys have just started classes, we're getting into our third week, we want to make sure that, we talk a little bit about what it means to be successful here at Haskell. But a lot of times when we're talking about freshmen, we're also getting set on our success plan, right? So we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the things that you're going to need to know. We'll also ask you guys some questions. I definitely have a couple of some returning students here, and then ask them, what were some of the pitfalls as a freshman, or some of the things that they had to struggle with, and some of the successes. So if you guys have something, or you guys have input, definitely jump in, okay? So we're talking about Haskell 101, and the reason why we start with this again is we want to be understanding of why you're here, right? So you're starting your journey here at Haskell, and you're really trying to, whether that's a career or you're aspiring to go into graduate school, you are deciding that you want to do your education here, okay? So what does that mean, and what are some of those steps that you're going to have to take in order to be successful? So I'll just ask, and anybody can answer, otherwise I'll start pointing. Why are you here at Haskell? So anybody can answer that. Why are you here at Haskell? Get a degree, get education. What else? To what? Good here. Too poor. Too poor? Okay, you can use that one too. What else? Anything else other than getting a degree? What else is that? A better job. Better job, self-sufficient, right? Okay, so there's a lot that's going to be attached to that. So we're going to talk about, again, what are some of those different things that we can do as we are working towards our degree, okay? So what does college success mean to you guys? And it doesn't have to be necessarily what I have up here, but in your own words, what does college success mean to you? What do you think college success means? Okay, high GPA, what else? That has something to do with it, right? Because we have to have good grades in order to be successful. What else?
I think building relationships.
Building relationships, how so? Yeah, definitely. Anybody else? What do you think?
For me, it's just get that degree.
Getting that degree? Okay, yeah. And for a lot of people, that's the first thing that happens is you want to get that college degree, right? And then it becomes something else, and you'll see with what you're doing, right? So a true measurement of student success is how well students are prepared to accomplish their current and future academic, personal, and professional goals through the development of knowledge, a sense of responsibility, and self-reliance, and a connection to the college and wider communities. Again, we're collaborating, we're opening up our small little network, and we're building out, right? So we're going to be able to do more than what we did before, okay? So that means we're also going to have to put ourselves out there and do new things, okay? So we're going to check in. So somebody had mentioned, why is it important to build those relationships in college? Why do you think it's important to build new relationships in college? Lila.
Oh. So I forgot. Sorry.
Support system. Okay. What else? Why do you think it's important to build relationships in college? We did talk about, scholarships, mentors, different opportunities with different programs.
Recommendation letters.
Yes, recommendation letters. How hard is it going to be if you don't know your instructor and say, oh, by the way, I need a recommendation. If you do that, I don't really know you. And so not having that opportunity to build that relationship is going to be important, okay? So again, relationships matter, especially when you want to feel supported and have that confidence. And this is going to be especially true for first-gen low income. So again, that's a big component of our program is we want to meet with you guys at least once a month If we see you guys every week, that's great too. But again, we just want to check in and be your support while you guys are here if you guys need anything. Okay. All right, homesick. So we talk about this because it's very important. One of the things is we're now just starting our third week of classes. So it's going to kind of be different, daunting, right? How many of you guys have already been stressed out by this new schedule? Yeah. Okay. So let me just tell you. So what happens when you start a new schedule or you do something new that's going to be different from your everyday? You have to allow yourself 2 weeks to get adjusted to that new schedule, okay? Sometimes we freak out. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't get to my car, or where am I going to park, and stuff like that. So you've got to allow yourself 2 weeks in order to fully make those adjustments, right? So maybe that first day, you wake up late, and then you show up to class 5 minutes late, or the next day, or that night, you don't go to bed till late, right? You have to make those adjustments in order to be successful. So allow yourself a little bit of time and give yourself grace, right? And then if you're feeling homesick, it's okay to talk about it. Everybody has been homesick at one time. When I first went to college, I went 8 hours from where I lived, and I wanted to go home. That second week, I was crying. I was like, I want to go home. I want to go see my mom. The news flash for you. Home is always going to be the same. This is true for me. I'm from Arizona, New Mexico. When I left for school and then I go back, it's pretty much the same. So that's one thing too, is like a lot of times people are going to look at, not giving themselves that opportunity to actually experience college, right? You're like, I'm so sick of being here. I miss my friends. I miss my family. What are you doing when you talk to yourself like that? What do you think you're doing? Being negative. Being negative? What? Digging yourself in a deep hole, right? How are you going to enjoy this if you're already saying that it's not going to be great, right? So we're looking at how are we going to combat being homesick, okay? What we try to tell students is give yourself, again, 2 weeks, if not 3 weeks. And then, again, we want to make sure that you're networking, you're talking to people, and trying to enjoy this experience because, again, college is supposed to be a great experience. Sometimes it's good for people. For me, I had a great experience. I think Ron had a good experience. But it's all a matter of how you look at those things, right? It's still going to be work, but there's ways in which you're going to be able to enjoy it, okay? So does anybody have anything else on homesick? Good? We're all good. And if you guys don't feel good, you can always come in and talk with us too. We have stories about when we were in college too. A long time ago, but hey, it's all right. Okay? All right, so we talked about relationships. So who are you guys connecting with? Can I just go ahead and you guys just tell me who you guys are connected with to help you be successful? And that could be somebody at home, that could be your friends, family, your teammates. So who are you connected with to help you be successful? So you go first. Hey. All right. Somebody else.
I would say Beyonce, and then probably come back home. That motivates me. Family members, mainly my niece.
Maybe you're awesome. What about, I'll go here on the side. Who are you connected with to be successful? Your parents? Awesome. Family? Christian?
It's the same with volleyball coach.
Your volleyball coach? Yeah, okay, awesome. Go here and then we'll go here.
Trio program for sure, 100%. When I first joined, I was like, oh, why do I have to go to that? Why do I have to do this? It was test, it's extra test. But
Yeah.
that was because I was working full time and going to school and but now that I'm in Trio, I really love how we're on passion time about our successes, about our failures, and I feel like that's a really
Awesome.
For me to be my grandparents.
Your grandparents? Awesome, okay. And again, I just want to ask that because again, it's always good to reinforce who is being there for you and that helps you to be able to be like, I'm doing this for a reason and I have that support, okay? So, and I'll say my family too, and then I have a really cool Trio team that supports me too, so. All right, so we're gonna talk a little bit about our instructors and how, we need to meet with them. One of the things, and we have talked about, is we do grade checks, right? So how are we gonna be able to make those relationships with our instructors? We're gonna have to ask them for grade checks. How is that gonna be helpful to your success with your relationship with your instructor?
Just connecting one-on-one and asking, hey, how's the class going, how was the class? And especially for the comment section, you have people get issues there, and then we will get back to us and say, well, we recommend, you do this, you do that. So it's really good.
Awesome. What else, with your relationship? What else would be kind of in there too? So I know some of you guys already talked about it.
Letters of recommendation.
Letters of recommendation, what else? Connection to opportunities, right? Sometimes your instructors are gonna have connections, or they're gonna have resources that you didn't know of. Delilah had a really good example of having that relationship with her instructor. What happened with that?
Oh, I took Western Civilization my first semester in my first, really, it was one of the harder classes because we talked about some really difficult things. And then when I took sociology the following semester, it was the same instructor. So I already knew his teaching style, I already knew how to communicate with him. And it made it so much easier whenever I was going through a problem, I could just easily talk to him.
Awesome. Another thing too is your instructor is going to be more likely to talk with you and work with you if you have issues, if you're in contact with them, right? So if I'm saying, hey, what can I work on? Or even just talking to them after class, that's going to be very important, as opposed to a student who, say you're shy or you're afraid of, I'm not doing good in this class, and you wait till the last month of classes and they're like, oh, I need help. I mean, they're not going to be as open. I mean, they will, but it's going to be different from a relationship that they have with the student who talks with them, as opposed to somebody waiting to the last minute to do that, right? And so we want to make sure that we don't get into that situation. So again, grade checks are not just here's another piece of paper that you have to fill out. There's so much more that's going to be entailed to that grade check. Yes, Christian.
I have a question. How would you recommend, I think OChem at KU, and there's some there. So how would you recommend it? Take a maybe the TA.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're definitely gonna have to reach out to your TAs for that, but you can also, they have time, so your syllabus is gonna give you opportunities of open hours. So you wanna take advantage of that. If you're in a big class, look at their office hours. You wanna make sure that you email them and contact them and see if you can set up a meeting with them. So that way you're gonna get some of that one-on-one time. And then meeting with your retention specialist, I'll let Ron answer that one. Why would it be important to meet with your retention specialist, Ron?
Because it lets us know that how you're doing. Part of our job is to be, to know that you're doing okay in your classes, in the dorms, personal life. We don't have to know all your details, but if you're feeling homesick or feeling depressed or you're feeling overwhelmed, that's something we need to know, so that if an instructor writes to us and says, this student was doing well, but lately his work has dropped off or has stopped coming to class, then we have some insight. We can say, yeah, they're going through a rough time right now. We can try to get in touch with you and work with you and try to keep you going. We don't want you to feel like you're alone in this process.
So in those situations, what Ron was talking about too, is we're your advocate here too. So there's going to be times where there's going to be things that are going to happen that are going to be out of your control. People are going to get sick, or you're going to have to go home, or emergencies are going to happen. Having that relationship with your retention specialist, they're going to be able to advocate for you. We've had students where they had to go home for a loss. We were able to contact their instructors and help that student be able to go through that, and then also come back and get the things that they need done, right? So again, just making sure that somebody's here for you, and you do have all these great people that you guys had talked about before. So Trio is definitely one of those advocates for you. All right, so I talked about relationships, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Ron, and he's gonna talk about some other things that are gonna be important for you guys to know when it comes to being successful. Ron?
Okay. I want you to look at this little picture here today. It says, today I will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to fulfill my dreams. So I want you to think about your goals and your dreams of why you're here. Because it's going to happen fast. You know, whether you're a first year student, whether you're a third transfer or whatever, it's going to happen really fast. And I want you to imagine that graduation day when you walk across that stage and your family and your friends are here and they're cheering for you and they're all excited and you come off that stage, then what are you going to do? You know, so part of our job here as Trio is to help you stay on task, stay on track, so that graduation day will happen. And one of the things that we want to do is the roadmap that we want to look at of getting you from where you are now to graduation is in the course catalog. And let's see here. Down here at the bottom, if you go to our website, the Haskell website, haskell.edu, and on the first page, come down here, it says course catalog. Now, okay, so while it's loading, you know, I'm old school. We have books, but they don't print them anymore. It's all online now. So, you know, it's kind of like when I travel, I still like to collect maps at the toll booths. You know, they're free maps, but we don't ever use them. Everybody uses GPS now. But the course catalog is like your GPS. It's how you get from where you are to get to that graduation day. And it lays out all the different courses. Now this, you know, you probably don't want to print it out. It's 178 pages. But you probably do want to go through and look, and it tells you in the table of contents. So there's some key things that you need to think about as you look at your degree program or the degree you want to have. And it will tell you where to find it, which page to find it on. So some of the key things are college, schools, or programs. And within those, it will define the area that you want to be in, the School of Business, the School of Education. It might be an environmental science program. Those are the things that you need to start thinking about if you haven't already decided what you want to do or what degree you want to achieve while you're here. And then the next thing is, in this catalog, it will talk about pathways and degree checklists. And those are the roadmaps. And once you find your program, you go in and the pathway gives you suggestions. So first semester, first year, these are the classes you probably want to take. And it goes on to the second semester, and it's a prescribed pathway to get into your degree. And the degree checklist is something for you to use. It's a tool. It's a tool for you to be in charge of your education. So you can print it off, just print off that page of the degree checklist of the degree you want. And then every semester, fill it in. Look at which class you took, what grade you got in it, and how many credits you got for that class. And so near the end of the semester, you'll have to, before you enroll for the next semester, you'll need to look at that degree checklist and say, okay, I still need these classes. You look at the pathway and say, these are some of the classes that I need to take in this order. And so you can go through and you can be in charge of that. Now, your advisor, your academic advisor, will have a digital copy. And so we just ask that when you go and meet with your academic advisor, that before you enroll, that you give us a copy of their master copy. But it's important for you as well to keep a copy so that you know where you're at. Like that sign said on the first slide, I don't know if you saw it, but it said, my Haskell, my education. And you have to look at it as that. This is your education, so you need to take control. You need to drive this boat to get you to where you're going and be in charge of it. Academic advisors are here to assist. We here at Trio, we're here to assist you, but it's your education. So on graduation day, when you go across that stage, you can fully appreciate what it took for you to get there. Not only the sacrifices and accomplishment that you'll feel, but the pride to know that you did this. Because you don't have to be here. That's the thing about college. That you can't just stop going to high school without some repercussion. But you don't have to be at college. It's a choice. It's a choice to be here. So you need to make all the effort to do everything you can. However long it takes, there will be setbacks. There'll be times when you might find yourself having to take a semester off. Or maybe they're not offering the classes you need that semester. So you might have to go in the summer or something like that. But, you take charge of it and say, this is what my goal is, and this is what I'm going to do. So that's all in this course catalog. And I know that most of you have already gone through some of that. And it goes through here and it tells you all about them. And it tells you all about the different classes too. So each class kind of gives a description of the classes that you'll need for your degree. And then we'll go back to, so, this picture right here in the middle, this guy, he was very, very proud of the fact that he graduated. And he had some struggles there at the end, but he made it. So when I saw him at graduation that day, that was his celebration. Thumbs up. And that's our goal for each one of you, is that you're going to do this. And then not only that, but when you get to that point, you're going to have a plan of what you're going to do once you leave here. Whether it's continue on in a graduate program or some kind of professional school or into a career that, of your choice. We want to help you develop those skills, give you the resources, internships, help you with, we can write recommendations for you for jobs, for internships, scholarships, those kind of things, so that when you leave here, you're prepared and you're ready to take a step. So, all right, I'm going to turn it back over to Yosh.
All right. We'll talk about, so I'll just go ahead and get these handed out. So if you guys do that for you real quick, thank you. Try to have a lot. Okay, so we're talking about importances of what is it going to be successful, right? And so right here, we talk about roadmaps. This is what's going to be happening through the semester, right? So we're going to give you guys a calendar of events, not only for Haskell or for Trio, but if you look on here, we're going to have important dates for you on here about what's happening through the university. We talked about those different skills that you're going to need. We do have these seminars. Again, this is our very first seminar, Haskell 101. We do have another one next week. Time management is going to be on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So again, these are just some skills and tips of helping you be successful. We talked about financial aid and scholarships. That's going to be coming up in October. We do have grade checks. So one of the big opportunities, and we don't have it on here because we're still pending from the president's office, but we are planning in October from the 1st through the 3rd. You'll have to sign up for this. And again, it's doing the things that are going to make you successful. So turning in that grade check, you're going to already know how you're doing in your classes, but that also is going to be your ticket to, have an opportunity to apply for a leadership. So one of the big things that we always emphasize is building on that leadership, right? That's collaborating, that's talking, that's being adaptable. Those are gonna be things that are gonna be helpful for when you leave here, when you get into the real world where you have to work, you're gonna have to do all these different things. So from the 1st to the 3rd, we're gonna have an opportunity for leadership. We'll be taking students to Kansas City. We're supposed to go to Worlds of Fun on Friday. Saturday, we're gonna do leadership. They're gonna have axe throwing, barbecue, and then they'll finish up on Sunday. But again, we wanna make sure that we're doing what we need to enjoy those things. So this is gonna be one of the tickets to apply for that, is getting that grade checked in, okay? So that's gonna be the 1st through the 3rd in October. We have, again, grade checks are gonna be important. While we look at this, we'll see why those grade checks are also gonna be important if you're receiving Pell, and if you're not, this is also gonna give you an opportunity to get some money in your pocket next semester. Grade checks, again, we have a talking circle, so we're always trying to have something here that's gonna be helpful for you to be successful. And then we're gonna look into December. We have a self-care plan, and we're working on those finals, okay? So again, these are a lot of the things and opportunities that will be taking place at Trio. To be eligible, I don't know if you guys have heard about grant aid. Has everybody kind of heard of grant aid, or do I need to explain a little bit more about what grant aid is? Yeah, okay. So we're looking back at this. There's things that we want to do to be successful, right? So with grant aid, it's basically monies that we have. So the Department of Ed allows us to give $30,000 each year, not to one student, but to our students for being successful. That means doing your grade checks, meeting with your retention specialist, going to seminars. So I think we have 3 to 4 seminars that if you can attend, it's going to give you those points to help you be eligible for that money. Okay, so the most that we've given is $2,500 to one student, and that comes at the end of the year. So it doesn't come as like your scholarship. That comes in like around May, so that is for your summer, or if you're doing anything that's going to give you money in your pocket. Okay, so we do have that available. We are going to be doing again leadership trips. Our biggest trip that we're going to be doing is going to be in Chicago, and that's going to be next semester. That'll be a 4-day trip to Chicago where we get to do a diversity leadership. And again, it's just being a good, successful student and doing what you need to get you to those points, okay? We will also be looking at taking a trip to a graduate program, whether that's K-State, KU, we've gone to Mizzou, we've gone to Wichita State, St. Louis, where they have a social work program, specifically, well, not specifically, but they do have opportunities for Native American students to get that degree free, okay? So there is opportunities, and again, being successful, keeping our GPA up, knowing that where we are is gonna help us that's gonna give us peace of mind, right? So again, that's why we're talking about this. Does anybody have any questions about this in particular? No, okay. So grade checks, our first grade check is due. You guys know when our first grade check is due?
September.
I'm like, who is it due? Next Friday? Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Okay, so if you want to be eligible for our trip in October, what is one of the requirements?
Got your grade check in.
Grade checks, right? Make sure you get your grade check on time. Meet with your retention specialist if you haven't already, which I think all of you have already, right? Yes. What about online? That's a good question.
We do have fillable forms on our Trio website. So if you go on our Trio website, look under the tab for forms, and it'll have a fillable grade check in there. And you can email that to your instructors, and they can fill it out and send it back to you. That's why we tell you a week in advance, so you got this week and next week to get it done. Because sometimes it's kind of, you have to wait, and it takes a little while, but you can do it that way. Yeah.
Another way is also everybody has access to your Blackboard, right? So they will put your grades on there. If you have any extra additional questions, you can definitely reach out to your instructor. So if you have to print that out for your grade check and go ahead and attach that to it, that'll be fine. Ron and Lori, say you can't come in, and you want to get that grade check in, you can take pictures as long as you're working with, again, collaborating with your attention specialist. When should we ask our instructors, or when should we start doing that grade check? When do you guys think we should start doing that? What's that?
Probably.
This week, not Friday, right? We don't do it Friday. What about Thursday? Should we do it Thursday? Maybe. Okay, it just depends, right? But again, we want to start that right away, because if we do that now, we don't wait till the last part of the semester. If we don't do our grade checks, we're freaking out because we haven't been checking in with our instructors. We don't know how we're doing in class. This grade check helps us to alleviate that. I'll give you a statistic if you guys haven't already heard the statistics. We did this in a fall semester. Students who turned in 3 to 4 grade checks for the semester had an 87% chance of staying outside of probation academic suspension. 2 to 3, it drops down to about 76%. We go down to 2, it drops down to 50. We go down to 1. If you only turn in 1 to 0 grade checks, your chances of being on academic probation, it rises significantly, right? So again, this is helping you guys have a peace of mind, getting things done, and then not having to worry about it. Because as a college student, you have to worry about all aspects, right? Your mental, physical, emotional, those are all attached. And if we're not doing what we need to, of course, that's going to cause us stress and anxiety, okay? So again, that's why we want to make sure that we get you guys this information, let you guys know about all the cool incentives, because it's not just the stuff that we offer, it's when you guys graduate, right? When we see those pictures, and that's the biggest incentive, is knowing that you guys put in the work to be successful, right? So that was it. Okay, and so again, there's no shortcuts, right? So we have to be responsible in sense of knowing what we need to do and getting that accomplished. So again, we wanted to ask you those questions. What does student success mean to you? So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ask you one more time. What does success look like to you guys for this semester? Okay, what does that look like? You can say GPA, like I want a 2.0. No, please don't say that. No, 2.0. Okay, my bad. 3.0, right? I want to try to get a 3.0, right? You want to try to have some sort of goal to help you to accomplish that. If we don't have a goal, remember, if we say, oh, I just hate this, it's so boring, I don't like it. I mean, again, we're going to set ourselves up for failure, right? But if I have a great goal and say, I'm going to get a 3.0 and I'm going to go on this trip, or you don't have to go on my trip, but go do other trips, right? Okay. So again, what does success look to you like for you this semester? Go ahead and I'll give you guys a couple of minutes, think about it, because we'll all answer it. Okay. But what does student success look like for you this semester? Okay. You can be like, I have more time to do other things, you know, instead of procrastinating to the end of when I have a paper due, right? I'm not going to do my paper at the last night, right? Because that's not going to be good. That would be something that I would have done for my freshman year, because I have spent many nights trying to do my paper the day before it was due. Okay, no point. Okay, so go ahead and think about it. I'll give you a minute, and then whoever wants to go first will get to go first. Okay. You already ready? Okay, all right, so you want to make the D? All right, that's what student success for you looks like this semester. Awesome. Any, like, y'all can jump in and whoever wants to go.
I'm not procrastinating, I'm a good procrastinator.
No.
Procrastinating and being on time is one goal that I define. So far, I've been late 3 times to the only class right now.
Oh, okay.
So like 2 minutes late.
2 minutes late?
2 minutes late, maybe, but I want to be earlier, like 5 minutes early.
Okay, so that's a good goal. Okay, so I want to be 5 minutes early to my classes. That's a good goal, because then you know that you're prepared and ready to go. That's totally cool. Okay. Anybody else? Because we're all gonna go. Having good grades, what is good grades? What's the definition of good grades? GPA, so like, give me a number. So I want to try to go for all Bs, I'm trying to go for A's, I want to try to go for a 2.5, 2.8, 3.0, 4.0. 3.0, okay. That's what college success, okay, cool, awesome. Yeah,
Basically making more connections, more friends.
making more connections and friends, awesome, I like that, that's a good one.
Mine would be, I'm also interested in my first independent class. Reading the articles that was really put on. The day I'm supposed to do the article. Keep seeing it.
So trying to start as soon as you get your assignment. Okay, so starting right away. I love it. Okay. Christian, got a couple over here, you guys.
I really in my work, all things you know,
So finding a rhythm, getting your schedule again, takes 2 weeks to create a new schedule and something that's new, so awesome, I like that.
balancing.
That's good. Awesome, so being acknowledging and being aware of some of the pitfalls that we have, right? That's probably the biggest thing, is like, I show up late, or I wait till the last minute, okay? Being mindful of that is knowing that you have to make a change, so that's great, okay? Christian,
I think it's harder to get. So, I'll say, working on this social anxiety. It's something that's always needed to have right now. So lately, this is the trying to talk to people, teammates, and yeah, just building relationships. And yeah, I feel like I'm doing things. Hanging out with my cross country.
good, okay. Then I'm gonna have my 2 interns finish up, and then if you guys can give them one good tip that you guys have kind of found through your time here. So I'm gonna let whoever wants to go here.
I guess my entire role into each other is to improve my accountability. That kind of goes with the grade checks. When I first came to Haskell, when I first came, when I returned to Haskell, I was on academic probation. So I would do really, really bad. And so being part of Trio, I like having someone help me accountable, checking what's wrong, having somewhere to go. It really helped me end up getting to the responsible. But since then, I've been being. So definitely improve my accountability now that I'm back in person, because I feel like I don't know about you guys, but not having people watching me all the time, that makes me like, okay, I can kind of dip out of this time or not put as much effort in. But definitely trying to.
Awesome.
I don't know, I'm perfect. I'm just kidding. As for like a goal, I want to graduate being satisfied with what I did academically, because everything I did coming to Haskell was by myself. And I always had to deal with in high school, having people control what I was doing. Not everything was a part of my passion, so I was just get good grades and then you're done and that's it. But in college, it's more of, I already know what I want to do as a career, and I have to make sure to hold myself accountable academically in order to reach what I want to do in my career goals. And I think coming here, I definitely had what Christian had with social anxiety. I was too scared to go meet people, but then once I did, and especially going to seminars and going out and doing stuff on campus, it definitely helped better. And yeah, I think just getting out,
Getting out.
Just exploring, getting yourself acquainted with the environment that you're gonna be in for a little while is what's best.
Awesome. Well, so I'm glad that we were able to go through a lot of this information again. If it's a conversation and be able to talk with you guys and really just be able to acknowledge some of the things that we want to work on, right? And then having that positive attitude and making sure that you have that support. So again, if you guys have any questions or if there was something part of that presentation or the catalog that you want to know about, if you're new and you're not on a degree checklist and you're looking at certain degree programs, please come and talk with us so we can be able to help you. We have some our interns, so let me go ahead and have them introduce themselves real quick. Thank you. Yes, introduce them because they're always going to be in our office. So if you're not able to work with me and Ron and they're in here, they are our team. So, and they're also our interns. So we do, once they graduate, which we're gonna be sad, those positions are gonna be open. Okay, so that's part of that leadership too, is having you guys be part of our program. So go ahead.
I'm Kyla and I'm a junior and I've been with Trio for about these 2 years. So right before the pandemic hit, so kind of got to be on campus, off campus, throughout it all. I don't know if they also mentioned what the grade checks we do. When you turn them in, we keep a list and there is a raffle, so we do prize gift that.
I'm Delilah, I'm a junior. And I've been with Trio for about 2 years, both same thing with pilots. I've been on campus, off campus, and now coming back on campus and into a new building.
Yes.
Which is very interesting. But I am getting a degree in media communications, so I know probably way too much about social media.
And then you can tell me your program.
Oh, I had started out with art and science, and then with the transition going online, I found it very hard for my learning style to learn like all my labs, so I ended up switching to business.
So if you guys have any questions or, you need some tips or, hey, what's to do, or they can give you good recommendations if we're not there.
I also do take classes at KU. So I know a lot about the exchange program and taking classes and navigating that campus. So if you ever want to take a class at KU, I can definitely help you. And give you some information on how to get in contact with us.
Okay, well, thank you guys. You guys can have a seat. So thank you. Anything else, Ron, before we let them?
I just want to say, I'm glad you're here. This is our first in-person seminar in over a year and a half. It was February 2020, last time we had an in-person seminar, so I'm glad to see you guys. Glad you're here.
All right, well, thank you guys. You guys were very kind to talk. Thank you guys. Usually I have takeaways, but since everybody participated today, I won't ask you guys for some takeaways. But again, you want to make sure that we're thinking positive. Again, having the opportunity to enjoy this moment. And then again, if you guys need anything, let us know. When are those grade checks due? Friday at what time? Before 4, yes. And we will have a raffle, so thank you for reminding me. And then our next seminar is time management. It's going to be on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. We will be doing different projects, so it's going to be helpful, whether you're going to use apps or we'll just give you a bunch of different ideas to help you with your time management and setting up those schedules, so it's going to be helpful for you guys. So again, thank you guys for coming. Hopefully this was very helpful.